Well, it's winter time here in Canada, and the blower motor quit working on Blackjack. So we got to figure out what's wrong with it. If you can see over my left shoulder here, the windshield's kind of foggy on the insides because it's actually rain and plus 2 degrees out right now. But I've got no way to clear it because my blower motor's not working, but we've got to determine whether it's the actual fan control or if it's the blower motor itself. So it could also be the blower motor resistor. Anyways, we're going to figure that out. So let's dive in, take a look. So the first thing I want to do is I want to see if we can get the controller to speak to the blower motor. It does that through the blower motor resistor. And what the resistor does is it changes the speed of your fan. But in this case, I ain't got nothing. So we're going to grab a hammer and we're going to tap the fan to see if the fan will actually come on. If it does, great. I'm pretty much guaranteed that we're going to have to replace the blower motor in this car. I've got one here. I've also got a resistor in case we need it. A couple days ago when I was driving the car, I could get the fan to work and it worked on all speeds. That's why I don't think it's the blower motor resistor, but we need to do a process of elimination with some good old thinking. So let's take a look. Which size hammer? If you're not familiar with these Crown Vics, Grand Marquis, and Town Cars, the blower motor is located under the hood. It's this big thing right here. So all we're going to do is we're going to reach in here and lightly tap it. And it just kicked on. So I'm going to go in now that it's working and try the blower motor resistors. So now that the fan is working, we can try our controls. And it works on all levels. So that tells me that A, the controller is working. It also tells me that the blower motor resistor is working because it's working on multiple variable speeds. So let's take a look at the new unit and show you what we got to do to change it. So in case you're wondering what the part numbers are for the blower motor resistor and the blower motor itself, well, this is a Napa part number, BR475, and this is the part number M10676 for the blower motor. And this one here is the blower motor itself with a new squirrel cage. And the reason why I went with the squirrel cage one as opposed to buying it separately, yes, you can buy just the motor a little bit cheaper, but for just a couple dollars more, you get a squirrel cage, and we're guaranteed that when we pull the old one out, if it's broken or showing signs of decay, we've already got it and we don't have to change it. And another big reason why I wanted to have both of them on hand was because you never know what you're going to run into when you jump right into the repair. This blower motor resistor is the one for the automatic climate control like you saw on the dash, and they're about $100 to $125 depending on where you buy them. And they're a pain in the butt to change. We're not going to have to use this one, but I will show you where it goes and why it's a pain in the butt to change out. So the blower motor is actually pretty easy. There's just a couple of, I think they're 8mm screws, maybe 7, on this little bracket that holds these plug-ins in place. And then there's 1 or 2 down on the very bottom. And the thing just comes out. You got your plug-in here, and the new blower motor comes with the plug-in. You just plug it in, where you go. Nothing to worry about. So this is your evaporator core, and your blower motor resistor kind of plugs into that compartment. Now you've got a couple of heater hoses, you're in and you're out. And if you kind of jump way down here and right where my finger's pointing at, you'll see that little white sticker underneath that heater hose. That's the blower motor resistor. That's got to come out. So a couple of things are in the way. Both of these heater hoses are in the way. And you can get at it and you can struggle with it. But one thing that I have found in the past is if you simply remove the heater hoses, you're going to make a mess with all your antifreeze all over the place. But if you take this piece here off and get it out of the way, then you can kind of fold these heater hoses up out of the way so that they're not, hitting where you need to get your wrench in there, your socket, to get the screws out that hold it in place. So a little trick there. We had to do it on Grandma not too long ago, but nevertheless, if you get this out of the way, a couple of 10mm bolts, and it just kind of folds off to the side, then you can get those hoses kind of bent up out of your way and get at that blower motor resistor. We're not having to deal with that today. So we're gonna go over here and we'll do a little time lapse of getting those screws out and pulling the blower motor. So now is probably also a good time to take a quick peek in here. Make sure you don't have too much debris or any debris. And we do see some down there by the AC evaporator. So we'll grab the vacuum cleaner, we'll vacuum that out so nothing gets up in there and starts making noises. And we look all the way into the back. And well, everything looks good back in there as well. So we'll grab the vacuum, we'll get out some of those leaves, and then we'll get the new motor installed. So there is the old one out. Everything looks good. But my guess is that because we had to tap that to get it to work, that the brushes are probably just about beat on this. This car has 336,000 kilometers, which is 200 and some thousand miles. And it's a 2003, so it's almost 20 years old. This thing has got some life on it. Anyway, other thing you want to do is just simply grab a hold of them. This is aftermarket and this is factory, so you just want to compare them. Make sure that they're going to fit in there, no problem at all. So they look good to me. Let's get the new one in. So before you go and finish everything up, one thing you want to remember is this little tube right down here. This is your drain tube, so that if any water happens to get in here, any condensation, it has a place to leak out, and it just goes right back into where the evaporator core drains out your air conditioning. When your AC's on, it drips a little puddle of water underneath, well, that's where it goes. So don't forget that. It just kind of pressure fits inside the little hole in the side of the case here, and then goes over top of a little nipple on the evaporator core. So now that we've got that blower motor changed out, everything should work. So let's turn the key and see if it's going to work. I can hear it already. And there you have it, guys. There is a blower motor replacement in a late model Grand Marquis, Town Car, or Crown Vic. They're all going to be the same. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more do-it-yourself repairs on Panther platform cars, because we got lots of them here. Folks, stay tuned for some more great videos from Olde Carr Guy, and stay focused on the windshield, not the rearview mirror. We'll see you in the next video.